Before every MLB season, fans rush in to predict the results for their favorite team. Now that the 2022 spell of MLB has come to an end, everyone's now looking towards the next season. But before we move on, let's take a look at how the predictions by senior writer David Schoenfield held up. In today's video, we'll take a look at all 30 MLB teams and grade their bold season predictions. Starting off with Cincinnati Reds and Detroit Tigers on numbers 30 and 29. The prediction of the Reds went as wrong as it could get. Predicting that they'll make the playoffs was just the farthest thing from reality. They did win their first game of the season, and then that's it. Losing 22 of their total 24 games is just insane, and for that reason, this prediction gets an F-. On the other hand, the Detroit Tigers get an F too, because unlike what was predicted, the Tigers did not get a wild card, nor was the season any good for them, followed by 2 more Fs for 28 and 27. There are a few Fs on this list. The Washington Nationals are one of those. The prediction said that Soto would hit 352, 527, 644, and win unanimous MVP honors. Unfortunately, none of that happened. Soto did hit 242, 401, 452 though, but overall, not a pretty prediction. While the Nationals got an F, so did the St. Louis Cardinals. Predicting that they'd finish under 500 was probably not a good idea, given that they won the division with 93 wins, and Albert Pujols finished the season hitting 270, 345, 550, coupled with 24 home runs. Next up, a few more Fs, please. For the 26th place, we see the Chicago Cubs. Nick Madrigal was predicted to hit 336 with no home runs. The home runs part was correct. However, he hit 249 and only played 59 games because he was injured quite a lot. An F, please. Not too far away are the Arizona Diamondbacks in the 25th position. The prediction for Pavin Smith was that he'd hit 300 with 22 home runs and make the All-Star team. None of that happened, although the Diamondbacks did have some great performances. Those weren't credited to Smith's name. Another F for this one. Following up the contenders for numbers 24 and 23. We finally moved on from the F grades, and it's Milwaukee Brewers breaking the streak. Prediction for Freddie Peralta qualifying for the ERA title and holding batters to a 162 average did not end up happening. He only managed 78 innings, and while he wasn't easy to hit, Peralta could only manage to restrict the batters to a 190 average, and for that, they deserve a D-. On the other side, the Pittsburgh Pirates get a D, because the prediction for Diego Castillo was technically close. Not really though, but here's what happened. It was hoped that Castillo would lead the team with 23 home runs. However, he only hit 11 of those, which to be honest, if he played every day, could have hit the predicted number, but he didn't. And that's the end of the story. Coming up are 2 more Ds for the Texas Rangers and Colorado Rockies. Starting with the Rangers, it was being said that John Gray would win a career-high 15 games, possibly strike out around 200 batters, and finish with an ERA of 3.25. That's a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, and that is why Martin Perez decided to step in his place to tick all of those boxes. Gray, on the other hand, didn't. While the prediction for the Rockies was that Ryan McMahon would outwar Nolan Arenado, guess what happened? He couldn't do that. Let's learn about the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays for position 20 and 19 respectively. We're hoping to see Wander Franco hit a 325 for the Rays, but that didn't happen. He had a good start with 331, but injuries brought that average down to a mere 261. Not great, and definitely not worthy of anything higher than a D+. And while Wander Franco disappointed, so did Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for the Jays. He didn't win the Triple Crown, nor did he finish second to Ohtani in the MVP balloting, a D+ at best. Moving on to Minnesota Twins and the Chicago White Sox. The prediction for the Twins was that both Carlos Correa and Brian Buxton would have 7.5 WAR seasons. To respond to that, Buxton earned a 4.0 WAR, and Correa had a 5.4. That deserves a C-. Similarly, Dylan Cease, Lucas Giolito, and Michael Kopech, all 3 for the Sox, failed to strike 200 batters, as the prediction was made, although Cease surpassed that number with 227. The other 2 were not even close, another C-. Let's now learn more about numbers 16 and 15. The Seattle Mariners were predicted to hit 31 home runs, and Jared Kelenic, and 25 with Julio Rodriguez. And while Kelenic managed to hit the exact number, Rodriguez ran just 3 home runs short, a C, but with a good effort sticker. The Philadelphia Phillies at number 15 also earned a C, because unlike the prediction, Bryce Harper was able to hit 40 or more home runs out of the 3. Next up, the New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox. Garrett Cole from the New York Yankees was being pointed in the direction of the AL pitching Triple Crown, leading in wins with 19, an ERA of 2.76, and 261 strikeouts. While he did lead with 257 strikeouts, all the other hopes were shattered, and for that, the team receives a C. Rafael Devers, the Red Sox, missed both his predictions by a large margin, and so we also award the Bostons a C. Following that, the Baltimore Orioles and the Houston Astros at 12 and 11. While the Orioles get a C because Cedric Mullins failed to go 30-30, the list improves with the Houston Astros with a C+. That's because Kyle Tucker managed to get very close to his predicted stats for the season. Not too close, but close enough to get his team's predictions a C+. With Atlanta Braves and San Diego Padres next in line. Here we go with another C+ for the Atlanta Braves. And it's for the same reason the Astros managed to get a C+. While Matt Olson was unable to hit his targets, he did get close enough, and although we were looking for him to finish second in the MVP MVP voting, it just wasn't a good enough season for that. And as far as the Padres are concerned, they get an improved grade because the prediction remained kind of incomplete. Fernando Tatis Jr., who we were hopeful would return as an outfielder, never made it back for the season. Ha-Seong Kim, on the other hand, did play well at the shortstop like it was manifested, although he only hit 11 home runs out of the 22 that were predicted. Coming up, we have the contenders for the numbers 8 and 7. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, the prediction was almost spot on, except that it wasn't. They won 111 games, and guess how many were put down on paper? 110. That is pretty close. Unfortunately, though, they couldn't win the World Series as predicted, and so they failed to land in the A grade category. The San Francisco Giants on number 7 got a B, because Logan Webb didn't win the Cy Young Award, but his stats were almost there. Next up, the Kansas City Royals and Miami Marlins in the 6th and 5th spots. How about we finally give someone a B for a change? Bobby Witt Jr. managed just that for his team, showing that he could achieve both of his predicted state. Witt got 20 home runs and 30 steals. That's in comparison to the 25-25 that were predicted. It pretty much cancels out, doesn't it? And while Sandy Alcantara succeeded in reaching 200 innings for the Marlins, he wasn't the only one to do so. A B+ for that prediction. Now for the 4th and 3rd positions, the New York Mets and Oakland Athletics. As unfortunate as this one is, Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom both missed time because of their injuries, exactly like it was being said. In addition to that, Chris Bassett led the team with 15 games won and pitched 181 and 2/3 innings just like in the prediction. An A for effort. Another A for the unfortunate season for the Oakland Athletics. Predicting that they'd lose 100 games was already insane, but they proved it to be right by going for 60 and 102. Damn. Last but not least, Los Angeles Angels and the Cleveland Guardians. The prediction for the Angels was that Shohei Ohtani would become the first back-to-back MVP since 2013, and although this did not happen, he was very close in his game to the numbers that were thought to have landed him there. So close that he gets an A for his team. And for the final boss, Stephen Kwan proves that he can get very close to the prophesized 304. The biggest shocker is that the team would sign Jose Ramirez to a long-term extension, while Shane Bieber will return to Cy Young form. Along with that, Tristan McKenzie would become dominant as a starter, and Emmanuel Clase will end up as the best closer. How crazy is that prediction? An A++++++ for this one. That's a wrap for this video. What prediction was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.